This is part 2 of my removing the transmission from this 2013 Outback. I'll let you know that I do successfully get this removed by the end. In this video, I'm going to remove these half shafts, these axles that go to the front wheels from the front differential. The guy I bought this from said he had done a whole bunch of work, $5,000 worth of work on it about 6 months before the transmission started to go out. But he couldn't really tell me what it was that he did, and I'm just looking at it. So it looks like the motor mounts are brand new. They must have been replaced. And looking at this half shaft here versus this one over here tells me that that axle is new. I can see that this ball joint in here looks new. That castle nut is brand new when you compare it to this one over here. So I gotta take those out. And I'm guessing this one that has just been put in is not going to be too hard to put in. I'm going to do that right now. This is new too. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe they replaced these motor mounts, but this all looks new and these bolts look new. So anyways, next up is to get these axles out. Something I've never done before, but I watched some videos on it. Have you take the rotor and the caliper off. Others just have you disconnect these bolts here and pull this whole assembly down to get it out. I'm going to try the easier one without taking the brakes apart first and see if that works. So got it jacked up off the ground. Let's see if we can get, I'm going to start with the harder one over here. I'm going to do that off camera, and if that works, then I'll film this one over here, which should be a piece of cake. Oh my God, guys, I am so excited. That was so easy to get this whole axle out. I've always, all my life, have just, dreaded broken CV joint axle boots because it was always $1,000 to replace them or whatever. This was like freaking... Well, it took me 20 minutes because I had never done it before. Let's see how long it takes me on the other one. But it's just take these two bolts out here. This whole thing comes out. Tap the axle out of here, and it was a piece of cake. The other one, boy, here, let me show you. All right, we're going to do driver's side. Let's start our timer. So we're only timing the one side. The other side took me like 20, 25 minutes. We'll see how long this one takes. All right, we're going to take the wheel off. You can see that this axle has a nut on it that's got, and you punch it in here so it doesn't spin itself off. I found on the other side, this one looks a little easier to dig out. The other side was really embedded in there, but frankly I just hit it, put this 32 millimeter socket on it, hit it with the impact wrench, and it just came out. Again, this one looks like this was just put on here like a few months ago. I'm gonna not bend that out, see if the wrench just pulls that nut out. Just like that, easy as that. We gotta just take these two bolts out here. Can't really see that there's nuts on this side, nuts on that side. Now this is the adjustment for the camber, and there's let me get a flashlight. Right, maybe it's hard to see, but there's little lines right along here. Oh, there, it's easier to see. And that's to mark your adjustment. Now this is way different than on the other side. You can see the 10 is sort of this way, it's horizontal, whereas on the other side it was completely vertical. I'm going to make sure to mark this so that I put it in the same way. I'll show you. That's sort of like a cam bolt, and that adjusts how this sits in here, and you kind of want to get it in the same way. So I'm also going to mark it. I've got a permanent marker here, and I'm going to just mark the edge where it's lined up, but I'm also going to mark the way this bolt comes out, so that
I get it back in the same way. The bottom one, it doesn't matter, it's just round. You'll see this one's got a lobe to it. The top one, this has a washer on it too, on the top. Now, I'm going to put this bolt back on so that I can hammer and just tap it out. Let me get the bottom one loose first. You're not going to be able to see this, but it's just here. You can figure it out. And the bottom one doesn't have a washer on it. It just has a nut. So now, oh, I got to get this, let me show you the ABS line off. So this ABS wire goes there, and it's just a little tab that I can squeeze together, push this out so that this is loose, because we're going to pull this back. I don't want to put too much stress on it. I guess you could technically take it off here, but I didn't need to on the other side. So I'm just going to tap these bolts out here, and there's another one there. Okay, now this whole well, before I take this off, I'm going to tap this axle out. Got a punch someplace. All right, can you see how there's a little hole in the middle of this? So this, I have just a punch that's going to fit in there. I'm just going to tap that out. All right, so it's, I'll pull this down a little bit. Now, I should be able to just, I don't want it, it's kind of hanging from this brake line. I don't really want that. Let me tie that up. Okay, I kind of have that tied up so it's not too much pressure on this brake line. It's more than I would like, but let me get this out real fast. Okay. See that? That axle is coming out. Now I'm gonna have to turn the whole wheel.
Going on my walk.
Okay, bye. If I turn the wheel, I should be able to get this out there, like that. Now I'm gonna put this back up here so it's not stressing out this brake line. All right, so obviously we got this free. Now I'm just gonna pry the other end out from the transmission in there. I'll show you that in a second, but what I'm excited about is that, boy, you take this nut off, get the brake line free, it would be a piece of cake to replace this strut. I mean, nothing to it. This hub assembly with the wheel bearings, we should take this rotor off, which I've done many times, and you can see actually these brakes are bad and need to be replaced, so I'll do that too. But replacing this piece here, which is the bearing, that would be simple too. I just had no idea it was so easy. All right, let me pop the other end of this axle out of the differential up there. I'll show you how to do that. All right, this inner piece on these, this is a 2013, so earlier ones had a pin. These don't have anything. You're just gonna pry it out. And I just have a couple of pry bars and stick them in here. And I bet this one will probably need only one because it was just put in here. So, no, not really. Okay, so it just sort of popped out. I'm going to leave it there and pull it out from the outside. And then this sucker is just going to slide right out. Look at that. I'm so excited. There we go. Piece of cake. All right, let me check the time. That was awesome. Okay, even with all the camera work and instruction, it took 17 minutes. That was the second one I've ever done in my entire frickin' life. That was way easier than I thought. I'm gonna put everything pretty much back together because God knows when I'm gonna be able to get this all finished. So I'm gonna put our bolts back in here and our nuts, just like it was. I'll even get the 10 turned the right way. Put the wheel back on, just so everything's where it needs to be in the end. So there you have it, axle out. Now I just need to move that transmission out. That seems like a bigger deal, but what do I know? We'll see. Okay, let's bolt right back where it was. Okay, bye for now.